Welcome back, TCG fans. It has been a while since we've talked about Magic 30th on the channel, so we're going to revisit the conversation today and take a look at this reimagined Magic the Gathering 30th anniversary booster box I've put together. It is now 2024, which means it is the 31st anniversary of Magic the Gathering cards that were printed in 1993. Last year was 2023, and technically the 30th anniversary of Magic the Gathering. And the year before, in 2022, Wizards of the Coast released this commemorative edition reprint of the beta set minus a few cards for $1,000 a box or $250 per pack. And it was kind of expensive, and not that many people got to enjoy it and relive the glory of Magic the Gathering from 1993. So it's now 2024, the 30th anniversary of cards printed in 1994. So this is my 1994 edition 30th anniversary Magic the Gathering unboxing on the channel today. You can see it's got our Wizards shrink wrap like all of my other 30th anniversary boxes do. I have some videos on my channel in the playlists if you want to see my other 30th anniversary box openings. But this is the same box I'd used before. The major difference is that inside this box is only booster packs that were printed in 1994. So imagine opening a collector's box of Magic the Gathering and getting four random booster packs inside from Magic's history. This would be my idea. I would like to do this. I would love to get a pack of the Dark in a collector pack. I would love to get some vintage Legends booster packs in a collector's product. I'd like to get some vintage Antiquities packs in a collector's product. And finally, I'd like to get a revised edition booster pack and just open them up. If the prices were approximately what they cost back in the day, they could be reprinted cards, maybe reimagined artwork, but it would be like $3 a pack. And you could draft these. They could also be available in booster boxes of like 36 packs or 60 packs of the smaller sets, expansion sets. And then you could relive the drafts from 1994 with all of your friends. All right, so the first pack we're gonna open up today is the revised booster pack. This has about 15 revised cards in it. There's a little description on the back. It says that Magic the Gathering is a collectible fantasy trading card game from Wizards of the Coast featuring over 300 different cards. Some are fairly common, some are uncommon, and some are rare. Every player has their own individual deck. Challenge your friends, but remember your opponent isn't defeated until the last life point has been taken. So here's my 30th anniversary tribute to Magic the Gathering 1994. Inside this booster pack, we have some awesome artwork on these cards. This is the Crusade, which was printed in Alpha Beta Unlimited, revised. This card in Magic pumps your creatures. We also have Disenchant. This was a great white card that destroys artifacts or enchantments. We have Disintegrate. This was a red spell that does X damage in Magic to players, targets. We also have a copy of Earthquake. This was a red spell that does damage to non-flying creatures. There is a reimagined Evil Presence. In the original Alpha Beta Unlimited, this cost 1 black and changed other land types to swamps. We have a Fireball. This does X damage divided evenly around down. There is Lightning Bolt. This is a pretty iconic Magic the Gathering card. This is what it looks like in the 30th anniversary of 1994. Lightning Bolt does 3 damage still. We have Nightmare. This was a pretty scary card back in the day. The power and toughness were equal to the number of swamps you had in play. There is a Pirate Ship, which was a pretty cool creature. You could tap it to do 1 damage to an opponent, or you could attack if they had islands in play, but there's some awesome reimagined art for you. Drew Tucker did this reimagined Nightmare artwork. Drew did a lot of awesome cards in Magic's history. We also have cards like Psionic Blast, Psionic Blast was discontinued after Unlimited, but it was available in the original Alpha Beta Unlimited sets. This would do 4 damage to a target and 2 damage to yourself when you cast it. We have a copy of Raised Dead. This was a card that would let you grab cards from creatures from your graveyard and put them into play. There is Sea Serpent. This is an awesome blue creature. Magic the Gathering. We have a copy of Sinkhole. This is a full art, fancy schmancy showcase version of Sinkhole. In the original Magic the Gathering, Sinkhole destroyed target land. It was also discontinued in the revised set, but it was available in Alpha Beta Unlimited. We have a couple walls. We have Wall of Air. This was great for blocking flying creatures. Wall of Fire was great for kind of returning fire and killing creatures it blocked. And then we have Wall of Ice, which was great for blocking cards like Sea Serpent. Finally, we have Wills o' the Wisp. This was reprinted in the plural version. It says Wills. The original Will o' the Wisp was an Alpha Beta Unlimited revised creature that was flying and you could regenerate it. So who remembers those awesome cards from back in 1994, everybody? Oh, and that is a new feature on the channel. That sound means is actually, that's our secret layer alert, So that means in today's mail, we got a secret layer package of Magic the Gathering cards. Here is our secret layer, everybody. This is a reimagined booster pack of Arabian Nights. This was printed in 1993. We missed this in the 30th anniversary collections celebration last year or the year before. But Arabian Nights is an expansion for Magic the Gathering, and cards do not stand on their own. You must own Magic the Gathering to play. Everything from Flying Carpet to the Giant Dan await you in these booster packs, and so throw a touch of the desert into your game and be the first to unleash the fierce Urg Raiders on your unsuspecting foes. Awesome. So let's take a look at this booster pack, shall we? We got one booster pack from Wizards of the Coast. It's got some reimagined Arabian Nights cards in it. We have cards like, let's see if I put that right there. Jihad, which was available in the Arabian Nights set. This gives your white creatures a little extra power like the Crusade did up top. There is a full art Oasis, which was printed in Arabian Nights. Oasis prevents 1 damage to some of your creatures and targets. And then there's a copy of Sandstorm, which is another full art reimagined card from Arabian Nights. This does 1 damage to other players and creatures. I'll put that right here. Perfect. And then we'll continue on. So sorry about that secret layer alert. We just had to kind of address that in the real time. Then we have cards in the next expansion available in 1994, which was Antiquities. Much like Arabian Nights, it unearths relics from the ancient rivalry. Over 75 artifacts and spells have shaped 5 magics and altered Dominia forever. Antiquities does not stand alone. You must have Magic the Gathering to play, so stash a few Antiquities in your deck and unleash the power of the past. There looks like there is only 1 card in this pack. So we'll open up that today on the channel and see what we get in the reimagined Antiquities pack. And it is a copy of Battering Ram. That is very nice. The original Battering Ram from 1994 in Magic the Gathering was a 1/1 artifact creature that had banding. And when any wall blocking the Battering Ram is destroyed, the walls were destroyed this way, dealt their damage before dying. All right, so next booster pack we have in our 30th anniversary of 1994 Magic the Gathering is Legends. Who remembers Legends? Legends, like any other world, Dominia has its Legends. In the new expansion, you'll meet Jonah, Gabriel Angelfire, Savitri Skarzam, and many more. As you delve into Minia's mythic past, you discover over 300 new spells, potent artifacts, and creatures with the power to defy death. So enter the world of legends and join the heroes of old in their struggle for Dominia. Very cool. So this booster pack, who remembers these? These were probably less than $3 back in the day. It would be great if they could be repackaged in this manner and be re-released in 2024 for affordable prices. But let's take a look and see what the reimagined cards from 1994 look like in this pack. We have, first and foremost, we have Chain Lightning. That is an awesome spell. Who remembers Chain Lightning? You do 3 damage to an opponent, then they can pay 2 red mana and do 3 damage right back to you. We have Immolation, which is a card from Legends. Back in the day, this was an enchant creature card that gave the enchanted creature a +2/+2. This is the reimagined showcase artwork for Immolation. Then we have Planar Gate. Who remembers Planar Gate? Planar Gate was pretty great card back in Legends. It was an artifact that cost 6 mana. It lets you pay up to 2 colorless mana less than required when casting a summoning spell. So that reminds me of like the cores or the mixes in the new sorcery TCG. This happens to be a full art version of Planar Gate, and art here is by Liz Danforth, who did a lot of Magic the Gathering cards. Next on our Legends booster pack, we have Puppet Master. This is an elite spell. Back in 1994, in the Legends set, Puppet Master was an enchant creature, and you could pay 3 blue to return the Puppet Master to your owner's hand. That was very cool. The next card in our Legends pack is Quagmire. Quagmire was an enchantment, and creatures with Swamp Walk could be blocked as if they did not have Swamp Walk ability. So we still have this full art, kind of swampy looking Quagmire card today. That's beautiful. Then we have Recall. Recall was great. It let you discard cards from your hand and exchange them for cards in your graveyard. And it's great to see this card still doing well 30 years later. Happy 30th anniversary, Magic the Gathering. We have another card that I vaguely remember from Legends, but this card is called Shield Wall. Back then it was an instant. All of your creatures could gain +0/+2 until the end of turn. And you can see they're making a wall with their shields in this reimagined showcase artwork. Then we have Telekinesis. Telekinesis is definitely a reserve list card. This is the new version. Telekinesis back then was an instant, and target creatures dealt no damage during combat. Pretty sweet. Okay, 2 more cards left in our Legends pack. We have Teleport. Teleport. This one is just an ordinary magic, and back in 1994 it was an instant that cost 3 blue mana. Target creatures could not be blocked until the end of turn, and you could play after the attack is declared and before the defense was chosen back then. Who remembers doing that? Last card in the Legends booster pack is Undertow. This is the full art landscape version of Undertow. Back in Legends 94, it was an enchantment that let creatures with Island Walk be blocked as if they did not have that ability. All right, so our last booster pack in our 30th celebration of 1994 cards is from the Dark. And the Dark lurks in fetid swamps underneath the roots of ancient trees. It hides in goblin caves and beneath the Inquisition's hood. It swims through the empty halls of sunken cities. So from the depths of Dominia come a new addition to Magic the Gathering. With more than 100 new cards for use with your Magic deck, don't be afraid of the darkness, but what hides in the dark. Very cool. So the idea behind all these reimagined packs is that you could mix them together with the base cards from the base set and build a new Magic deck with reprinted cards. They could be reimagined art like you see here. They could be foil cards. They could be serialized cards. You name it. But the most important thing is that they'd be affordable for new players and even the old players who didn't want to go out and pay hundreds and thousands of dollars for vintage packs that are 30 years old. So the first card in the Dark booster pack we have is Apprentice Wizard, and this is a very good card. Back in the Dark, it was a wizard that when you tapped it and paid a blue, you could add 3 colorless mana to your mana pool and use that as an interrupt. So Apprentice Wizard is good to see. Apprentice Wizard again. We also have Flood. I remember Flood very well from the Dark back in 1994. It was an enchantment that cost 1 blue, and if you paid 2 blue, target non-flying creatures became tapped. So that's the full art showcase Flood 30th anniversary. We have a copy of Ghost Ship. Ghost Ship is some great artwork here. This was originally released in the Dark back in 1993-4. It's a flying creature that regenerates for 3 blue. We have Giant Shark. Giant Shark is also a reserve list. It was a 4/4 shark back in 1994, and it still looks pretty scary today. Then we have Miracle Workers. This one also got pluralized. The original Miracle Worker from the Dark was a 1/1 creature that when you tapped it, it could destroy target enchantment card on a creature that you controlled. But they multiplied, so we have a couple more Miracle Workers on the card this year. Then we have Riptide. Riptide was an awesome card from the Dark. It lets all blue creatures became tapped, so it was kind of froze them in place. And we have Scarecrow. Scarecrow is a cool artifact from the Dark that was printed in 94, and it cost 5 mana back in the day, and then when you paid 6 and you tapped it, all damage done to you by flying creatures was reduced to 0. And then the last card in our Dark pack, 30th anniversary edition from 1994, is Standing Stones. This is the showcase version. Standing Stones was an artifact. It's also a reserve list now, but it cost 3 colorless mana. And when you paid 1 colorless and tapped it, you could pay a life, but you could add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. That ability was played as an interrupt, and effects that prevented or redirected damage could not be used to do any shenanigans with Standing Stones. So those were all the cards that we got in our 30th anniversary collector booster box. And oh, that sound means it is another secret layer alert, which means they just released another expansion for the 30th anniversary. This is a preview of what might come out next year in 2025 for the 30th anniversary of Magic cards that were printed in 1995. But this one has to do with the Dark. It deals with the war between Urza and Mishra, and there's basically a battered landscape has come from frozen desert. So we go from the desert to the frozen desert, and creatures in the world of Dominia struggle for survival. So let's see what kind of cards we get in this reimagined Ice Age booster pack. We'll put that right there on the play mat. Make some space here, and then we'll enjoy our Ice Age cards from 1995. All right, first card in the Ice Age booster pack is Blizzard. Blizzard, let's see. This reimagined art is by Jeff Mangus. Definitely looks like a Blizzard. Back in the day, it used to be an enchantment card for 2 green. It had a cumulative upkeep of 2 colorless, and you could not cast Blizzard if you control no snow-covered lands. I remember that very well. Then we have Disenchant. Disenchant was also printed in Ice Age. It had art by Brian Snowdy, but it could still do the same thing. It could still disenchant an artifact or an enchantment. Then we have a Drought. Drought was a cool card. It was an enchantment, and I remember that had really amazing art. It looked kind of like this droughted surface. The original art was by Nene Thomas, and this is the reimagined showcase version. Very cool. We have Iceberg. Iceberg is a full art showcase version in this pack. Originally, it was an enchantment drawn by Jeff Menges. The Ice Age Iceberg came into play tapped, but it had X ice counters on it, and you could pay 3 to put an ice counter on Iceberg. You could also remove an ice counter, and you could play it as that ability as an interrupt. And then when you remove those ice counters, it put mana in your mana pool. We have Incinerate. Who remembers Incinerate? Original art was by Mark Poole. This is the showcase version. That was an instant for 1 colorless, 1 red, I believe, and it dealt 3 damage to target creature or player, so no creatures damaged by Incinerate could regenerate that turn as well. Very cool. And then the last card we have is Meteor Shower. This is the reimagined Meteor Shower. You can see it's very cool. This is an elite card. Very playable in the reimagined Magic the Gathering collector booster packs that should be available next year at your local LGS. That, my friends, has been my take on the reimagined 30th anniversary of Magic the Gathering. I hope Wizards does something like that to celebrate the 30th anniversary of 1994. If it's too late for that, maybe next year, 1995, we'll do something for the Ice Age and those sets. That'd be a lot of fun to see those at the Magic Cons. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the new Sorcery TCG card game. Spoiler alert, all of these cards are Sorcery cards from the beta release. I think they kind of celebrate the 30th anniversary of Magic pretty well, and I hope you agree. So thanks for watching. Thanks for all the support and the likes and the comments and subscriptions. Those really help make the videos go. So appreciate everybody. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.